Hello, hello. We are live and we are live on both Instagram as well as on other platforms. I just want to know from our audience who are there to tell, are we audible? Nanda ji, if you could speak something so that we can confirm. Nanda ji, can you just say something? Am I audible to you? Can the audience tell that are we audible? Okay, never mind. Let me just add her again. Nandaji, can you hear me on StreamYard? Hey Nandaji, can you hear me on Instagram? Hi Akash, hi Mantasha. Can you guys just type
Me?
yes, we can hear you finally. Okay, all right. Yes, and can you hear me, Nandaji?
Yes, very, very loud and clear.
Great. All right. So, hello everyone. So, we are back with Thoughtful Thursday Season 2, Episode 7. We were not there the last week, and that was because we all were in the spirit of Holi festival. So, we thought, why not? Let's just enjoy and have one Thursday off so that everybody can, just be with the family and, share the happiness and everything. And now, today, we are here for this episode, which is kind of special for all of us because there have been a lot of people who had been reaching out to us. They are enjoying our episodes where we are bringing on these people who have made it quite big in the unconventional professions, be it tattoo artists, singers, DJs, fitness professionals, so many. And they're loving it, but there had been so many people who had questions that they wanted to ask us, and they wanted that if we can have one session where we can clear out the questions. So we are here in this session, which is a special one, which is going to be the Q&A session with Coach Nanda and Coach Usma. So we have a lot of questions which many people DM'd us. So we have that list that we are going to take up, and apart from that, our live audience who are there, they can also share with us the questions or the doubts they have related to their self development, emotional fitness, their purpose of life, how they can choose their passion, what confusions they're having in monetizing their passion, and very many things. So over to you, Nandaji.
Yes, Uzma, people have been, talking to us, sending us messages. So before I go any further, let me tell you that I'm in a public place. So if there's a little disturbance of people walking around, please pardon me. And I just want to tell you all that. So people have been DMing us and have been telling us that, we've been following you all, and they are on our common page, Magnets of Success with us. So they wanted to know a little more about us, though they said that we keep hearing you all and we keep reading about you all, but we wanted to know a little more about you. And this is something that was also in my mind because I felt that there is a story to both of us and from where we started and where we went, where we are. So I thought that why not in this episode that we are dedicating to our young brigade to ask their career related questions. Let me also ask you, Coach Osma. I know that you have a microbiology background, and you have been like almost like a gold medalist. You have been a topper in your college. From there, so many other things have happened in your life. I'd like to understand that why did somebody like you, who had the earth going for her, suddenly decide that she wants to take up the career of, this particular field of coaching? Because when we began, this was not such a, uh, like well known or mostly accepted. It was just like few people were doing it. Of course, pandemic changed all that. I would definitely like to know from you a little bit about your journey of life. So please, will you share with the audience that where did you begin and how is it that you're here today?
Um, as you know, Nandaji, I always often joke around and say this thing that I am a science geek who turned into a life coach. So that's how it has been. And yeah, I mean, I never thought this way that, I'll ever end up becoming a trainer. And I remember that my dad used to say that, you will become a teacher or trainer, something like that. And I would say, no, this is something that I would never ever do in my life. No, this is a profession I don't like at all. And he used to say, no, you have this nature and tendency that you tend to explain everything. I've irritated a lot of family members of mine also, that I have this, and I know I have this habit of over explaining everything to people. So he said, I mean, this is the most suited career for you. And that time I said always that, no, I hate this. You will see with time, I'll never become a teacher or a trainer ever in my life. And yes, I mean, life was such. I did my bachelor's and I pursued my master's in science in bioinformatics. And then I had my plans to pursue PhD or maybe pursue, maybe a job in the same field. But then, I mean, of course, we lost our father and we had to shift to Lucknow, from Delhi to Lucknow, from a metro city to a small city. At 10 years, 12 years back, it was absolutely at a different level. Now it is like a metro city, it has metro and so many things here. But then that time, it was a very big cultural difference that was there. And there, I thought that, if I keep looking for, if I keep cribbing that, that I left my career, this happened, this city does not have enough opportunities for what I wish to do, I'll end up, being into depression, or I may not be able to actually, the reason why I came there, I would not be able to give the due respect to the reason for which I shifted to that city. So there, then I thought, no, I have to, get my life into my hands and move forward. And then there, I started searching for jobs. I've always been a public speaker throughout my school and college days, and then I stumbled upon this job of being a trainer, where I was supposed to train initially, speakers for language, their communication and group discussions, basically. And I thought, why not, let me give it a try. And then I went there, and when I started doing, I really started enjoying the process. And I felt that not only in terms of growth, in terms of learning, it is good, but in terms of that fulfillment and satisfaction when you are actually helping somebody create their own dreams. I mean, if I am able to train somebody and that person is able to clear an interview and is able to get a job and is able to earn livelihood and is able to take care of his or her family, I mean, I have been a source for that person to build his own dreams. So nothing can be bigger than that. And that time I realized, that this is something that is giving me a lot of happiness. We often, Nandaji and I, come across so many youngsters who come to us and they discuss that they are not, they are jack of all trades, as they say, but they do not know what is the best thing that they can pursue or as their passion. So, like for me, I was able to understand something which is giving me so much happiness that every day, even I was dead tired, I was next day I would wake up at 4 o'clock with complete energy to go to my job because I was excited to do what I was doing in my life. And that gave me the clarity that yes, I mean, this is what I want to do in my life. And that's how I spent more than a decade training more than, I think, 10,000 people of all age groups and different walks of life for their communication, personality. And then finally the pandemic happened, which became another, you know, life changing time, and I'm so glad that that life changing time happened because I met you, Nandaji. And we pursued, I mean, life coaching certification together, and then we created this beautiful platform, Educate to Elevate. And today, like, our baby is reaching heights and zenith of success. And yeah, that's my journey. But when I first met you, Nandaji, in those classes, I found you so lively and always, joking and making everybody comfortable. And I loved your energy. But then when we became partners, and I got to know the kind of struggle that you faced in your life, and how at this point of at an age where people expect their life to be settled, and going in a pace that where you don't have to have new challenges in life. You have done things, and now okay, this is how life is going to be, and I'm going to have a comfortable life. God gave you such a big jolt, and then you have to, like, literally stand up again. So I would really like the audience, you share very less about it, but I really want the audience to know your journey of reaching here and becoming a life coach.
Yeah, so Uzma, like, life happens to us. And like you, when you shared your story, you said that that was the day when you had got your results and you were a topper. And you decided not to speak to your parents, but on the telephone, but to go and surprise them. And by the time you reached your home, things had changed. So, same thing in my life, like everything. I was a businessman's wife. Life was very cushiony. Life was very comfortable. And suddenly, things changed. And, here, my husband had to move on in life. And I had to start picking up everything right from, thinking and talking about streamlining his business, his estate, whatever was there, making sure my children complete their education and get on. They were the last few years of getting on into doing things. And it was like really cumbersome to have to deal with whatever that was happening. But yet, I think the resilience comes from within. And I then went on to join this the coaching, academy, Alpha Stars Academy of Excellence, where I wanted to learn about coaching, thinking that it will be an extension to my counseling career, but it was something totally different because coaching talks about futuristic aspects, how to navigate people so that they can take their whatever it is where they're stuck to the next level, to their next best level themselves. And for me, I was like very clear in my mind that I never ever want to, burden my children that no, they have to take care of me financially or anything. My kids are both very loving, very caring, and they like, take care of every need of mine. But I do not want to go and stretch my hands ever near my children. So that sense of self and that sense of dignity wanted me to use my education to become completely financially independent, and get on with life. Now, people would wonder that, oh, you were married to a businessman, then why would you need to be financially independent? My husband actually went through a lot of business losses, which was probably one of the reasons why, his life was cut short so much earlier. That he probably couldn't take the stress or the pressure of having lost his business. So there was everything for me at that stage of life. And I was already into my 50s. It was like to start it all over again. And I think, like I said, God gives us the strength to go ahead. And I'm here today. I decided that I'm going to keep myself financially independent and spying my way through, sometimes faking it, sometimes meaning it. But that's how it is.
And not only just smiling and doing positive things for yourself, but actually spreading positivity in so many lives, especially during the time of pandemic. You have personally coached so many people, so many business persons who were almost at the verge of selling out their business, but you coached them, and then how they stood again and build
Transformed,
their
yeah.
empire. Yes, build their empire
So,
on their own again.
so true. So, Uzma, also a question comes to my mind that when I look at somebody so young and so dynamic as you, and knowing that you had your whole life before you, and you decided that, training, teaching is what you want to do, and you were getting up at 4 o'clock and going. And yet, despite having this cushiony job, which was paying you fairly well, which gave you a lot of recognition, it was an international company, and there was so much more. And yet, one day you just walk away from it all. I mean, for somebody young who's building on their career, you would not walk away from something till you have something solid in the next step. But yours was like a total. I mean, I am still finding words to figure out what it is that you've done, and you took on the challenge to take up this profession. Can you say what was it all about and how you were so comfortable to leave your job and get on to doing something that you wanted to do?
When you said that, that what was that solid support that you had, I was about to say, I had you. And that's true, actually. Actually, Nandaji, this I have once shared in my YouTube video also, my journey of becoming a life coach, that I really believe in my intuition and gut feeling. And as innermost shift coaches, this belief in really believing and listening to your power center of inner knowingness has become so strong now, that yes, whatever decisions I took in my life at different points of time where I might not have even a logical reason for it, but I went with my gut feeling. Like, I know I cleared like BDS and MBBS in some colleges as well, but the moment I entered DU's North Campus, I got this feeling that this is it where I want to study. It was an illogical thing, but I had this feeling and I decided, and I just love those 3 years of my life there that I spent. Same goes with Jamia. I mean, there also my family never wanted me to take admission in Jamia, but I took that call. My family never wanted me to choose bioinformatics. They said, okay, take some other course, but I took it because I don't know. I had this gut feeling. Even one of my teachers told me that this is not right now that much, heightened. It will later on, but right now it's not. So you should choose some other subject. But something inside me said, no, I have to choose this. This is something seems to be very fascinating and interesting, and I did that. And I never regret it, even now. Even if I've not made a career in bioinformatics, still I do. Same goes with even life coaching. I mean, I had to, of course, take a pause from my job due to some other reason of my mother's health. But then I stumbled upon this course and I found it so fascinating. I mean, it was an expensive one, but then I thought, no, let me just, learn it. I mean, I was finding it so much in aligned with what I want to do in my life. But yes, making this decision of leaving that, well paying job at the time of pandemic where 10 people were telling me that, are you crazy that you are doing it at the time of pandemic when people do not have money? That time you are just leaving your job. But I felt that something inside me told that, no, this is what I need to do, and this is how I can even touch more lives. Because within 1.5 years of our initiative in energy, we have touched lives globally, not even in India. I mean, we have taken sessions for people in USA, Canada, Dubai, and many, many places, Botswana, if you remember. So that mission of, taking it to the next level, that mission to carve our own niche was very important. And then I met you, where my energy became double. I know as entrepreneurs, our ups and downs are always there, and it will keep happening. But yes, my inner knowingness is always there with me, and I believe in that, and it always guides me. So that's how it has been. But you have a similar story, and I want to tell the audience, sometimes it is so crazy that the kind of similarities Nandaji and I have in our lives in terms of the career, the personal life, that I mean, we sometimes get baffled. So similarly, Nandaji, you had such an amazing job in one of the best colleges of Mumbai. Why did you leave that and came into life coaching?
So, like you, Uzma, even for me, it was like a very cushiony job. I was on every panel in the college, and in fact, people across police stations, women grievances, everywhere, wherever, whatever panels we had, people knew me. So there was a lot of importance, there was a lot of fame, name, everything, and a very paying job. I had a huge cabin to myself, even though, like all the top management people would also come to me. It was a very, in its own way, very fulfilling at that point. But at one day, I just said, yes, I'm doing all of this, but I want to do something more. I want to go beyond this. And what is it? And then I lost interest in everything. My cabin started feeling like it's a prison. My, what I was doing started feeling like very monotonous. And I just wanted to set that inner self free. And that's when when I went on to learn about life coaching, among the first things that they say that we live our lives for others. We do things, by that I mean that we do things because somebody has said, Papa ne kaha hai, dad has said, so let's get into this career. Mom, it made her happy, so let's do this. A fiance or boyfriend or husband says do this, brother or sister says do this. So we are influenced by a lot of things around us. But what is that thing that is pure within you, deep within you, we really want you to, do? That what you spoke about, the inner knowingness, what you shared about that, knowing about what it is that you want to know, your intuition. So I felt the same thing, and I said, at this point, I want to give back. I have reached a stage of my life where I want to give back. Yes, I want to be financially independent, but I want to give back to a bigger segment, not just one college, one small thing in one, a small unit, one organization. I wanted to spread my wings and let all that I had collected over the years be shared with the maximum number of people. And I think, like you rightly said, because we had this vision, we went global so soon in our life. We were able to have so many kinds of clientele from across the world. And I think that has been a truly amazing journey. Again, hustle has been there. Again, it may have been very fulfilling, spiritually or for the work wise. Sometimes it may not have been monetarily that fulfilling. And yet, knowing that you're playing your part and your heart is doing what it desires, and you have the freedom of following your path, has, I think, made both of us feel so completely fulfilled in what we are doing that success and money has just started happening. It's like it was just a stone throw away. Today, all of that is beginning to happen just like that. Universities keep coming back to us. Trainers who, have engaging us want to come back to us to engage us further. And it has been very fulfilling when we look back at all of this. So I think,
True.
yes, indeed, we both share a very parallel life, two people, I mean, almost like half age of each other. Uzma is so much younger to me, but I feel so happy for her that she's blessed to have become anchored at this young age, and she herself is exceptionally hardworking. So, and her passion to give back to people is what has made the two of us just be there with each other. Age never became a problem. Nothing else about who has any more or less experience or nothing mattered because we feel we are almost close to each other. And
Absolutely.
together we have, like pooled our resources together to put out the best that we have. So that is our story, and I think we're very happy being where we are, doing what we are doing, and want to continue further. And our platform called Educate to Elevate, it's it's a platform that is infinite because it does not restrict us only to coaching per se. Even though coaching is what we are into, it's a platform of education where we can elevate people through education. And that also brings me to the fact that yes, this whole episode is also part of the Thoughtful Thursdays, is what we have done. Earlier one season, this is the second season. The earlier one was a super duper success, and we've had a silver jubilee, 25 episodes. And here now we're on to the second episode, the second season, I beg your pardon. And it is about helping the young brigade just to go for that freedom that Uzma and me have experienced, because we know when we work from that space, success just happens. Success wants to come to you. It's not like you have to run after it, it comes to you. So I think we can begin our session for the young brigade today. Uzma, we have shared so much about ourselves. Unless you have any other question, we have lots of questions that's coming from our people who are following our page, for people who are in touch with us personally. They have lots of questions, and like we had requested for them to DM it to us, they have DM'd it. So, would you like to start with it now?
Yes, Nanda. In fact, when you were sharing, about how you left your job and took up the career, you also said this thing that, choosing something and then being doubtful about your choices when parents say, "Mummy kya kahenge, Papa kya kahenge," and keeping that in mind, one of the questions we have is on the similar lines where a person has asked that the person wants to pursue photography but is unsure that can the person earn enough, and the parents are also against it because they want him to pursue the most favorite profession of parents, that is engineering. So what do you have to say to this fellow?
So, so before we begin, I'd like to share with all the young audience who are either watching us now on some platform or may watch us later. Okay, we will shift between coaching and consulting, our hats of coaching and consultation as we talk. But I want you to be ready with a book and a pen, because I'm going to ask you some very powerful, intuitive questions, which I want you to go back and think about and then decide that what is it that you really want to pursue. In today's day and time, young people are wanting to take on different careers. So you say you want to take on photography. So tell us something more about, like when I say tell us something more, obviously we're not interacting, but I want you to write it down in your book and say that what is it about photography that has inspired you? And go on to the next question to ask yourself that are you really aware of the different kinds of photography that is there? And out of that, which particular one would you like to take on? So also when you're asking, that your parents are against it, then what should you do? Your parents want you to take on, um, you know, the field of engineering. I want to ask you, why do you think your parents want you to take on engineering? And why are you resisting engineering and opting for photography? So when you come up with these answers for yourself, you will have a very clear idea about why you're opting for the profession that you want to opt for. As coaches, our job is to bring you into awareness and to connect you to the rich experience, the resource of experiences that is within you. So we'd like you to find the answers to yourself by answering these questions that we have just put across, and you see what answers you come up with. And then of course you can connect with us on our Educate to Elevate, and we will make sure that you still have any further doubt. We will individually take you through what it is that you want to understand. What do you say, Uzma? Is that right?
Yeah, these are actually very thought provoking questions which you must question yourself or ask yourself when you are choosing or taking that, step towards any profession. And also, this line that you said, that can I earn enough? So, first ask yourself, what is your definition of enough money?
Yeah.
Because sometimes maybe a million cannot be enough, and sometimes even 10,000 can be enough. So, you have to, quantify and understand what is your earning enough means. And once you have done that, like, let me tell you, we personally know photographers who have just started their careers in front of our eyes, but hustled hard, worked hard on their craft like anything, and now are earning lakhs per month. So it's not that it is not possible. You can earn equally as an engineer who has passed, from an IIT, the top-notch institutions of India, and are earning the same or even more. If you remember, if this you have seen the episode of DJ Akil that we had, where Akil also said that a DJ can, has the capacity to earn as much as an engineer or a doctor can earn. But important is for you to set your priorities and your expectations first of all clear, and then of course remember that working on your craft is very important. Once you are having that finesse in your craft, I'm sure once you put it out on the social media, make your page, network with people, you will start getting work. So that's the most important thing. So Nandaji, shall I come to the next question or you want to add something else to it?
No, no, I think I really appreciate that you added the little bit which I missed out about, will we earn enough and quantifying what enough really means to this particular young person. The one of the questions that I have received is that this person is going to soon be having, campus placements where they'll be having companies coming in for campus placements. And as a part of this is group discussion. So this person says, I'm very scared of group discussions. And uh, he says that I don't know how I'm going to perform or what is going to happen. So since you have been training people for group discussions, I would like you to answer that.
So first of all, you need to understand that group discussion is nothing which is very dangerous. It's like two or more people. जब वो किसी बात पे discussion कर रहे हैं, any topic, you are meeting your friends and you are having a discussion on any topic from, who is going to win the IPL to maybe who is going to be the next government in UP or anything. It is a group discussion. So there is nothing rocket science or something to be afraid of. Only the thing is, when a group discussion becomes something which is like a qualifying round for some job or some entrance exam, there are certain rules and parameters that you need to follow. You have to be more formal in your communication when you are talking. And please make sure one thing which a lot of people feel group discussions are all about shouting and putting your point forward and just making the group feel that जो मेरा point है वही सत्य है और कुछ नहीं. No, they it's not roadies. Please understand, you don't have to create that halabaloo there. No, it's all about putting across your points with sanity, and then making sure that after the discussion some concrete points come out which can be put into action and something positive can be created. Because in companies, when you're going to have meetings, that is what those companies are checking, whether you are, when they hire you in their company, if you are able to be in a discussion and you are able to actually do productive meetings, or you're all about just I, me and myself. So they're basically checking your basic nature. At times in interviews we do not come to know about the nature of the person. But when you are in a group discussion, an introvert will be quiet. An aggressive person might go aggressive. A person who has leadership qualities will show that. So it's all about showing your true personality, and just focus when you're speaking that I have to bring out constructive points rather than just speaking anything or everything in the JD. If you keep these points in mind, I'm sure you'll nail it. Anything that you would like to add, Coach Nanda, here?
No, I think you have spoken about it perfectly, and really, it's nothing to be afraid about. Just having the confidence and going ahead is going to take them places. So, what is the next question that we have?
There is a question here, Nandaji, that my parents will not allow, will they allow the field of our liking? The person wants to be a model or an actor. And recently, I even met a person who was going through the same hustle. He wanted to become an actor, and the parents are strictly against it. So, what do you have to suggest to such people?
No, since you have already spoken to somebody like that, I would like you to share from your experience of how you coached that person, that I will also add a bit to it.
See, to that person, what I told was, of course, it was more like a conversation, not that a proper coaching session that I had with that person. See, what I have seen in terms of my experience and going through my own grind of convincing my parents for my career or personal choices is that you they are all they want is, जैसे कहते हैं ना, पेरेंट्स चाहते भलाई ही है. They do not want you to end up choosing something that you will regret. So out being so overprotective, they also feel कि हाँ, the choices which are tried and tested and are going to fetch you money and you will have a comfortable life, so that is what they want you to pursue. Now everybody knows that, you know, acting career or modeling may not be something which is stable, but on the other hand, it has its own perks as well. You do not have to work around, you know, all the 5 days. You can work for some months, and then all the other months of the year you'll have a vacation. But most important is, for parents, you have to give some proofs and evidences. So like in my life, I've seen, like, one of my friends who wanted to go abroad and knew that her mother would never ever allow, worked her ass off. I'm sorry I'm using this word, but she literally did, and she qualified a scholarship to one of the good colleges of Canada. And when she showed that scholarship, her mother couldn't say no. So in the same way, you can also, like, maybe do some win some assignment first of all, get some role, or maybe try doing some theaters and acting workshops and get some certifications there. But at the end of the day, make sure that you are completing your education. Along with that, once you have that thing, then you keep doing along with that, learning the skills, observing people on YouTube. And then once you get a good opportunity, I'm sure the parents will be equally excited and supportive. Nanda ji.
So, Uzma, I had a similar case that had come to me. And when I sat through with the student or the young person and I asked as to why, you want to get into a profession like this, say, ma'am, there is so much glamour. You're always on the camera and photographs, and people want to meet you, people want to talk to you, and all of that. So, one of the things that happens over here is that people look at roles of actors and models as a glamour industry. So have you really tried to understand the glamour industry? Is it all glamour or is it hard work also? These are some things that you need to be aware of, because wherever we sit and we look at somebody else being successful or being so famous, we kind of feel that, oh, this is so nice, this is exactly what I want to do. And later on, when they realize that, oh, all the hard work that goes into it, they're suddenly like, I didn't know. So you need to be very clear about, you know, being aware of what it takes to get into these kind of industries in terms of working hours, in terms of expectations out of the producers, directors, or the production houses. These are things that you need to be very clear about. And you also need to understand that when parents are getting a little nervous or are trying to be firm about, no, you can't do this, what do you really think is prompting them to come from that kind of a space? One of the things that we have observed in our, dealing with innumerable, uh, let's say, young people wanting to make career choices and parents having their say, is this that parents are, with their experience and knowledge, feel that certain fields or careers are short lived, as in glamour industry would have you till you have your youth, till you have your body, till you have your whatever. So parents are a little worried, and like Coach Uzma rightly said, that it's very important for us to have a backup. You need to have a backup if you want to be able to sustain and survive. And today's markets are so volatile, they're so uncertain. I would share a little story about my own son being a, having been a counselor before and a life coach. I felt let my children choose their own path. My son is a cinematographer. He went abroad to study cinematography. When there was a recession, okay, very good profession, cinematography, and he's into production, making film, whatever the works that happened. But when recession happened in the US of A, he had no option but to go back. The first industry hit was the luxury industry, which is entertainment
True.
industry, all these kind of things. And he had to go back to learning Java for his survival. This is a true life story. So when Coach Uzma has shared, make sure that you have your backup, your education backup. There is a very sound, this coming from it, sharing coming from it. That it's wisdom that you need to have something to back you up. God forbid something doesn't happen. So this is my sharing. What else is on the agenda today
Question.
from the young people?
There is one question which is interesting in its own, that I want to earn a lot of money. For that, I want to take a pilot or cabin crew job. So this is one question, Nandaji. And what do you have to say about it?
Yeah. Again, saying this, this is also in connection or in taking the previous question and the answers that we gave forward, is that looking at a profession or a job as only a money making thing is definitely not among the best ways to choose what you want to do. Whatever you choose for yourself, if you like doing that or you want to do that, you need to be in awareness about what all happens in that particular profession in terms of number of hours of work, whether there or not, it is like you're going to have free time, you're going to have me time, you're going to have your weekends, everything else that goes with it. Do you or don't you have the budgets to be able to finance these courses or these professions that you're choosing to take up? And
Absolutely.
I'm sure Coach Uzma would add to this and say that we know a few people who come from the background of being pilots and the kind of money they've had to spend to get there.
True.
It's like it's not just that okay, you're going to earn money. Before you go there and you start earning, there is a lot of putting down of discipline, training, money for learn taking on these courses, and understanding that it's not only the money. People's lives depend on how well trained you are. So that's my sharing.
Absolutely.
You can add to it.
And Coach Nanda and I, often when we take our workshops where we focus on helping our clients, build their vision and focus on, their goal setting. Like, we often have clients as business people who are startups. So for them, we like have an association for a year with them, where we start from make helping them build their vision of what they want to do in their business, to then setting goals for each and every step, and be holding their hand and being their accountability partner, and even sometimes being a friend, and sometimes being that strict teacher to make them move forward. And we have been able to help quite many businesses in these, in the span of pandemic, where people started their business in the pandemic and are now touchwood flourishing. So there, having said all these things, the reason why I was telling you this was that one of the key points in our coaching sessions that we focus on is identifying your core values and aligning your values with the kind of work you want to do. Because I'll give you an example of one of the persons who was our client, and he was supposed to he went to a place where he had put in his business products and services, and could not earn as much as he expected. Reason being, he was not doing the adulteration or cutting corners in terms of the products, whereas other people were doing it in mixing the quality to earn more, because the person's core value is honesty. The person felt bad because could not earn as much as others, but then the person realized, oh my god, I cannot do this, and actually I'm happy even if I've done lesser profit, because my core value would, I would never be able to forgive myself if I had actually cut corners and done something and given underrated or under quality products. So in the same way, you also need to understand that whatever you are choosing, what are your core values, what are things you believe in. Nandaji and I have such strong core values of giving, you know helping people. We come out from this space, and that is why we have chosen this profession. And even if she is not in Mumbai, sitting in Nasik in a restaurant making sure she is here for Thoughtful Thursday today, or she had been in the US where she would get up at 2:30 a.m. to have a workshop in India, with last night she wouldn't have slept because we were making our PPTs, and she would be happily energetic and smiling the next day. Why? Because her core value is giving to the society, helping the people out, so that gives her that energy. In the same way, money is an important core value, it is an important aspect, but you will not be able to have a full-fledged or permanent career if it is not aligning with what you truly believe in. So cabin crew, modeling, acting, photography, whatever you choose, first try to identify what do you believe in your life. Nandaji, you unmuted, I think you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I think that is such a beautiful sharing because truly, if your values are not aligned to, the things you want to take on and you want to do, and you're thinking that, oh, only money, you know, when you're young, often it feels like, okay, I want to earn lots of money. But if it is not in alignment with your core values, you will see that sooner or later you'll end up feeling unhappy and you'll not be able to continue in that profession.
True.
And parents, when they come with uh, opposition or they not allow us to do something, it is more because they are thinking about the values attached. They're thinking about all else that goes into it for their children to be able to make it in life. So let's get on to the next question.
uh, Nandaji, there is one question which is actually grabbing my attention a lot, though there are many questions, but this is something I think should be taken up. That says, I heard smoking and eating less can make us very thin. I want to lose weight.
Again, it's like if you do not use your core values to decide, if you do not understand and not an awareness, do you want to lose weight?
Uh, Nandaji, can you
Am I
repeat?
there?
Yeah, you are, but yeah, you
Yeah.
have come
Do
on.
you
Go,
want
please.
to, can you hear me?
Yes.
Do you want to use destructive methods, self destructive methods to achieve? When somebody says, oh, I can become thin like this, my question is, how healthy will that make you? Are you okay to accept your health like that? Are you okay to understand that, okay, you will become thin, but it will have lots of repercussion on maybe the way your skin looks, or maybe, the way your body feels within, the way, so many other things, you may tire out quickly. Are you okay with these things? Until and unless you go through these questions in your mind and see whether or not you're doing something from a space of awareness, understanding why you're doing what you're doing. You're not really, bringing yourself to that space where you align yourself to what your core values are. Just by looking and seeing and wanting to aid people, wanting to do something, is not really what is going to get us there. I'd like you to add to this, Uzma, because I know you have some very important sharing for this.
First of all, I would like this person to go back to our episode number 6 and watch that Thoughtful Thursday, where we had a professional fitness trainer and coach, Varnit Yadav, with us. And he has so beautifully explained everything, how you can have healthy lifestyle and actually lose weight. See, one thing that I feel the Gen Z need to understand, not that I'm a millennial or Nanda ma'am is from also, a generation where we are here to do down the youngsters. I feel the youngsters are actually going, I mean, they are brave enough to talk about their mental health and their choices, which perhaps we millennials were never able to do. So I really respect them. But on the other hand, seeing this all digital culture and how uh, people are, you know, getting money through YouTube and those many things has somehow made this subconscious mind believe of the youngsters that these are some easy ways of earning money, or we can really become popular quickly. And it's actually like, if you see, everything around us is instant. Instagram, instant noodles, instant ready to make food, everything is so easy. Instant delivery now, Zomato is coming for with 10 minutes of delivery system also very soon. So what is happening when this instant gratification is happening? So this is leading to a lot of people thinking that shortcuts are good or not doing hard work is easy. I mean, a lot of people are being mocked. Oh, you are so old school. You believe in all these things. Smart work karo, yaar. Kya ye hard work karna? I mean, they would boast कि I had quick money by doing this, that. But at the end of the day, you have to understand that shortcuts will never lead you to have that base and foundation in your personality. If you see, I mean, I used to have students who wanted to become very good at communication, speakers, public speakers, but they would never read. They would not ever pick up a book to read to improve their language. And I would tell them that how can you improve your language unless you do some kind of reading? I would give them examples. I mean, okay, I'm not talking about the acting part, though I like that person's acting. But if you look at Shah Rukh Khan and the way he speaks, if you see the kind of vocabulary he uses, the kind of wit he has, why? Because he's a voracious reader. So he has done it the hard way. I remember once it is Vicky Bhagnani, who was giving an interview where he shared that he has done his acting training from Shri Ram Center under Barry Joan only, who was the mentor of Shah Rukh Khan. And once Shah Rukh Khan met him, he was so excited and he said, "Do you have your notes? Can you give me your notes? I really want to see what all has changed." And he actually took notes at this point when he has proven himself and become the Badshah of Bollywood, and he read all the notes and gave back, and he made his new notes also. And Vicky Bhagnani was so much in awe that, I mean, this person does not need to do anything for his acting skills or prove his mettle in the industry. Still he's looking for notes and reading and doing that. So you also need to understand your body is not a joke. Your body is a temple that you need to worship. If it is said in our scriptures, there is a reason about it. So doing, harsh things to your body just to get that instant gratification of losing weight is not going to work. Eat healthy, feel happy from inside, and you'll see your weight will come in, it will acclimatize as per your height. So please do not take these drastic steps. Nanda ji, would you like to add something?
I think that's a very beautiful sharing that, uh, we should not do anything drastic, and because that will have more repercussions than any good. And if you lose weight and you get what you want, but your health has gone for a toss and you're feeling tired all the time, there are bags under your eyes, your skin is looking tired, you're not going to be able to get into any kind of that good looks that you were aiming to look at. And yeah, there was another question also, which also kind of you answered, that somebody's saying that this got added to the answer that you were giving. The person saying that I'm good at academics, but because I can't speak English, I'm feeling the loss of confidence. And you rightly said that if you want to be confident, you have to read, you have to hear. Only then will you be able to get on and be able to improvise your language or add to your vocabulary. If you don't, then you're stuck. In fact,
Agree.
between Uzma and me, the thing we keep telling ourselves is that humans are so dynamic. The certification that we may have done, the education that we may have taken, that was yesterday. What about today? Today, the world has changed. Every day, the world is changing. And while you may have a framework on which to, knowledge to build yourself, but it's so important every single day to add something more. So, those of us who want to get ahead in life, improve our language, improve our personality, improve the way we speak, we need to understand that yes, reading and listening to the language you want to work upon is very important. And that is one of the ways also to make sure that you are successful and fluent in the language you want to speak.
And Nandaji, though there are a few questions, in fact, quite many which are left, but we have already, spent 1 hour. So I think we can have a poll on our stories and ask our audience that do they want to have a second round of Q&A where we can cover more questions as well. And I hope that this Q&A session helped a lot of people, because these questions are very pertinent and these questions are quite common to a lot of people. I mean, you and I may also have gone through this during a year back, where we shared about our journey. So this is important, and if you guys want us to have more such Q&A sessions, you can DM us or message us or comment on this video, so that we can plan out more such sessions on our thoughtful Thursdays, or we can make another day of the week as Q&A day of the week also. We would love to do that. What's your take on this, Nandaji?
I completely agree with you. But today, before going, I want you to answer one question that has come up, and like that will be the last question because we are into communication skills, and I don't want this young person to be living with some wrong ideas. So this person has been rejected for internship because of the
Hmm.
way they were dressed, and they are
Hmm.
feeling as to why is it so important that dressing is given so much importance. Is the knowledge not important? Is there whatever they're bringing to the table not important? So what would you answer to this young person who's feeling very confused that they were dropped because of their dressing? The non verbal communication aspect, I feel, is what comes into it. So why did you share something what you feel?
See, sometimes what happens, I would say to this person, that we need to respect the protocols or the things or the culture that a particular organization follows. And in fact, like, when you go to different countries, also, certain gestures have very different meaning in different places. Like, if you go to some countries, like, I don't know if I'm right, it's somewhere in the Gulf countries, this thing is there, or maybe, in the Spanish or Italian countries, that even if they are opposite genders, when they meet, they give a peck on the cheek. Even males give a peck on their cheek, and this is considered very respectful. And if you don't do that, they feel that you have not actually greeted the person properly. On the other hand, if you meet somebody unknown in India, a male goes and gives a peck on the cheek on a woman, the woman will give a slap to that person, right? So when you go to different countries, even if we, like, somebody who's not a Muslim goes to a Muslim country, is sometimes asked to cover the head. Why? Because it is in the respect of the culture. In the same way, when you are going to a company or an organization, they have their own setups that you need to follow. And in that case, of course, they're going to judge you on their knowledge. But first impression do matter. And it does matter. And you have to respect, because they are going to be your salary givers. They are the choosers, and they have their upper hand right now. So you cannot expect going in chappals and t-shirts and shorts to an interview. Of course, there are many new startups who are coming, who are very cool. Like, if you there is this I remember I was watching this. There's this very unique series that used to come on NDTV. Be Your Own Boss. So there they showed actually these quirky new startups, and then I saw this store which is there in Connaught Place of Happily Unmarried, and they have a very cool scenario there. The work culture is very cool. They have a beer party when they crack a client or something. So we are coming up with these new places where you might not have these protocols of wearing formals or going that ways, but when you are going to a well established company where there are certain things, you can be the change maker for them once you are inside. But to clear that first stumbling block which is there, do not be too experimentative. Go and follow it, and then once you're selected, then you can of course say to the people that just to have more positivity in the team, we can have one casual day and everybody can be dressed up, or we can have some trips for more team building and enjoying also. So these things can be worked upon. Nandaji, what would you like to say?
Yeah, so I was sharing that I feel that the way you dress, for the company, it is like you're carrying the company's image when you are going to be interacting with the colleagues within the company or outside of the company for bringing business. Do you feel that, how you are dressed or what, like you rightly said, is the protocol of their dressing becomes like you're carrying the company's image through your dressing. And if we take things casually or if we try to go in a way that is not in keeping with the protocol, we are giving a non-verbal message that your protocols or your company's image is not important to me.
True.
And that can really make it very difficult because uh, you have gone there seeking a job. You want to be a part of them. You can't go there wanting to be a part of them and then stand out like a sore thumb. So, like Uzma ma'am has rightly explained that yes, if you follow the protocols and you are inside, then probably you can be the change bearer. And yes, indeed, there are companies that look for, like a totally different kind of dressing. So when my son got his job in Facebook, being the mother, when I went visiting him, I took for him some lovely formal shirts from some of the best companies from India, and I said, "Oh, this is for your job." And he said, "Mom, where am I going to wear this?" I said, "Of course, for your job." He says, "The culture in Facebook is you have to wear t-shirt and jeans." So she very rightly shared, Uzma very rightly shared that it depends on the culture of the company you're getting into. But if somebody believes in formal dressing or if they want to see you are somebody who's taking care of his appearance, you are giving out a very strong non-verbal message about how you keep yourself, your grooming, and all that bit when you dress up well. It's not that people are judging you on your dressing, but if it is a formal job and if you're looking, it's a protocol that they're following, they will expect for you to dress like that. So with
Yes.
that,
And
I trust we have put your queries to rest. Yes, Uzma, please share.
I just wanted to say, you remember you shared that incident with me where you were in the panel of interviewers, and there was this lady whose nails were not, I think, chipped, or she was not wearing a proper nail paint, and the principal had asked her to go out. The reason why, because they are trying to judge you as a personality in the interview, and they would feel that if somebody is not able to take care of the basic grooming of themselves, how would be able to take care of the students who they are going to teach. So it's not only about the clothes you are wearing, where they're trying to understand your choices of clothes, your color combination, but it's actually a test of your own personality. So please understand that whenever an interviewer asks you a question, there is don't think that that question is stupid. There is a very deep thought behind that question that the interviewer asks you, and you should never take it lightly. So I think
So,
now we should wrap
very,
up. Yes, Nandaji.
yes, 1 second, I'll just share this
Hmm.
that in one of the interviews, the person was asked the color of the wall behind you. So, a normal human tendency would be to turn around and look. But what the panel was looking for is like how observant you are and how quick you are in your thinking to know that most times the wall at the back would have the same color or they would not have asked you that question you know so they're just looking for how observant you are or how aware you are when you walk in, how much you're taking in your surroundings. So just that bit. And I think we have had a
Yeah.
fabulous 1 hour. talking, sharing, discussing, and I feel that we have done justice to some of the questions that have been asked, though there are so many more that have got left out.
I know.
But for
Yes.
today, we would like to say we love you guys, and we really want to work and train you in a way that you have a niche for yourself in the global village. You will be so strong
Absolutely.
by the time you have reached, your corporate ladders or midway there, that you will really appreciate all the help and support and the coaching that came from Coach Uzma and myself. So feel free to
Absolutely.
reach out to us. You have our addresses, you have our email IDs. Uh,
You
you can
can send
actually,
a query
yeah.
on our website www.educate2elevate life.com, and we'll get back to you. Our emails are there also on the website. Yes, Nandaji.
I'm saying like the coals that, beneath which hides the diamonds. As coaches, we can see the diamonds that you all are. And you all are feeling, not good enough. You all are feeling, oh, I'm not like somebody else, etc., etc., etc. And as coaches, we can really make you shine and hone that, you know, sparkle within you to dazzle the whole world. With that, we say, love you lots and loads of blessings from both of us.
Thank you so much, everyone. See you next Thursday with another guest and somebody who has made amazing heights in the unconventional profession. Bye, everyone.
Bye.